Let me say, I got to get Zander to make me feel better here. Without further ado, let's bring our boy in. Big J, Zander Krause. Come on here, man.
What's up, Sills? You got the wrong guy for that one, my friend. You got the wrong guy.
Oh, shit, man. All right, give me your takeaway on this. Where are we right now? Have you heard anything? Or where are we on this potential Vic Fangio retiring?
So I think Vic will be back for this year, but that's a hard think. It's not confirmed yet. But, the Eagles have kind of convinced him to try and come back. But you're right. I mean, this is a 67, 60-year-old dude. That thing could change at any second. I think you're going to get Vic back this year. The question will be, or at least it will feel like to me, it's a retirement ceremony this year for Vic. He's not going to be back longer than this year, which does change, I think, the perception of the Super Bowl window when you talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. But I think he's going to be back this year. They're talking. They talked to Gannon apparently. They talked to Jim Schwartz. To fill in. So, and the way Kemsky wrote it sounds like they talked him off the ledge, if you will, the hypothetical ledge. So, they need Vic. So it's gonna be tough if he walks out the door.
It's not that he's not going to retire. It's just when. It's either now or it's going to be a year from now.
I think it's a year from now, no matter what. But it could be now. I think, what did John say percent-wise?
80.
80, he'd be back? Yeah, I'd probably feel more like 70 for me. Maybe even like 65.
I'll give you a little bit of what went on in Miami. When Clint Hurt went down there to interview for that job, he said he needed a week to give you a answer on what he could. And Jeff Hafley, the brand new head coach, said, I want to get our staff in right now. And that's why they went in a different direction. So I'm thinking that Clint was told that he's going to be the next guy in Philly if Vic does end up calling it. So I'm thinking, and that's how he's thinking. I haven't spoken, and I've sent him numerous texts, and I haven't heard anything back.
Yeah, he's probably going radio silent right now.
That's right. That's what I'm thinking. And I asked Jason Taylor how that interview went. He goes, hey, look, they were really kind of close. And, he was going to bring me in as a defensive line coach. And all of a sudden, he went and said, I need a week. So I think what the Eagles did was they paused on Clint. And I think there's a promissory note here in the future that Clint's going to be highly considered. So I heard John say something to you today, and I want to ask you. So the Eagles would never have, in John's words, now, again, John's got an opinion on it, and I respect it. He said that they would never have considered Christian Parker as the coordinator, somebody with no experience. Well, shit, man. You just hired a guy on the other side of the ball that's got zero experience and no coaching experience.
Yeah, right.
Make that make sense to me.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
You think you're trending up right now as an organization?
No, I think we're teetering right now. I think we have an opportunity to go up, but I think we have more shit to fix right now than it feels like we've had for the last couple years. Like even after 23, I mean, they didn't make that many sweeping changes. I mean, most of the roster returned. They let a bunch of guys walk. Who'd they sign in free agency? They signed Bryce Huff in free agency. Saquon Barkley obviously was a big signing. I mean, I'm not going to delegitimize that, but it didn't feel like defensively or anything they made that many drastic changes. So it feels like there's more to fix right now, Sills. But no, I don't think we're on the descent yet. I really don't. I just don't think that team is I think they're closer, I think teetering is the right word. I think they're closer to it than it felt like they were in years past. But I don't think they're on the descent yet.
How about this? Do you think there's more question marks going into this offseason than any other offseason in Nick Sirianni's time as head coach? Or uncertainty?
Maybe amongst the fan base, yeah. But it doesn't feel like that's true amongst the ownership.
Do you think they know if Lane's retiring or not?
I think they know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they know.
Do you think they know if they're bringing Goddard back?
No.
Huh. Okay.
I think that's
why? Because you think that's got to do with maybe how AJ's deal works out.
No, I think it's a market test. If Goddard gets 14 million in the open market, goodbye and good riddance. But if he's getting $10 million offers, maybe the Eagles are in play.
If I'm A.J. Brown and a guy who's been a coach for 24 months, how you feeling about that hire?
Can't feel great, right? Unless he knows something. I mean, look, there is a weird thing in the NFL. Like, dudes get reputations, and sometimes that permeates across the league.
Yep.
So maybe AJ's heard good things. You know what I mean? They're buddies. Maybe he's friends with a Green Bay guy, a Green Bay receiver. I don't know. You know, it depends who his relationships are. But I'd like to think that he's not upset by it.
Open.
Yeah, I think he's open to it. I mean, this guy came from, McVay. He came from these West Coast offenses. So maybe AJ thinks that there's an opportunity. But again, I don't think that AJ's problem was with the coordinator. I really don't. I think there's a much better chance it's with the Sirianni philosophy, one, and then two would be Jalen. Those would be my top two. And it could be either one. It could be both. It could be neither. Could be one or the other. I don't know. But I think those would come before the coordinator for A.J. Brown, honestly. I mean, did he have a problem with Kellen Moore too? Because remember, he was not happy during the Kellen Moore year either.
Absolutely was not happy. The quarterback got 2,900 yards.
I think the Kevin Patullo, A.J. Brown hates Kevin Patullo narrative is not true.
You're on to something, bro. I'm going to tell you what you're on to.
I'm always on to something, Sills. I'm always on to something, brother.
Hey, I'm going to tell you what I think you were on. So today, when you were talking to John about that, you went like this. Sounds like to me they hired 88 different offensive coordinators. Yeah. They're going to do this thing by committee. And I'm like, he's right. And John
did not like that one, did he?
No, he didn't. And I went like this. I said, well, how many offensive coordinators do you now have on the staff? Ready? Kevin Patullo is a former offensive coordinator now, correct? Nick Sirianni's a former offensive coordinator, right? Sean Mannon's your brand new offensive coordinator, right? I mean, dude, you got three dudes in the building right now that at one time had called plays. Yeah. How's that not by committee?
It's true. It's beyond true.
It's and one guy's true. Never, and he's the head guy.
All right, let's give it like a little what's that game where you pick something and you got to act it out? Let's act it out here. You get in the office. You have here is Julie and Lori. All right, picks up the phone. Phone's down. Who does he phone down to? He phones down to Nick Sirianni. Okay, Nick picks it up. Okay, got it. Nick then phones into Kevin Patullo in the back and Josh Grizzard, the passing coordinator. These guys are ultimately the pipelines to tell Sean Mannion to call a trash offense. Who knows, man? I really don't know. I do think the by committee approach is something to keep an eye on.
Oh, it is. Because, look, KP's called plays, Nick's called plays, Josh Grizzard's called plays. Gee, if you were going like this, which one doesn't fit? Or take one of these guys out as offensive coordinators.
Right.
Sean Mannion, Josh Grizzard, Nick Sirianni, or Kevin Patullo. I'd take the guy you just hired. He's never called a fucking play. I mean, you got 4 offensive coordinators on your staff right now. How do you not think that's not by committee?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, it's why I brought it up. Me and John got into a nice morning, nothing like a nice 8:20 a.m. morning debate on Monday on Birds 365. You know, he didn't like the words I used. It is what it is. I agree with you, though. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. You know, yeah. And look, I've defended Nick on this show many a times, as anybody who listens to this segment every day knows. But you know, I'm not going to turn a blind eye to some trends. And the trend is he struggles to make adjustments when things are falling, you know, off the rails. He seems to struggle with adjusting. And right now, is this his plan for adjustment? It's fair to look at that and say, I don't know if this is a good plan, you know? So we'll see. We'll see. Now, if Nick comes out and wins 13 games next year, I don't want to hear shit from you, from Prince, from Theo, from Kyle. I don't want to hear shit from anybody. All right?
What's this guy turned Hurts into an MVP, and he's got 4,800 yards.
Hurts is killing it at the Pro Bowl. This is what I like about Jalen. He's a stud. He's down there signing autographs for all the kids, dude. He's grabbing phones, taking videos, doing it for the people. I like a man of the people, silly-o. Maybe this season was a nice You're no longer at the Jordan HQ. You got to reconnect with the fans. Maybe that's a part of what Jalen's got going on down at the Pro Bowl right now, Sills.
So you think there's not gonna be any like yacht journeys with Jordan this year? It's got to be more, back to grassroots and building it up again here, not going on the yacht in the Riviera with MJ. I got it. All right.
I don't know, man. The yacht might be coming. That might be more of like a March, April, May activity. That might not be for this time of the year. Who knows, man? We'll find out. We will see what ends up happening. But I do like players that do that stuff.
Yeah, me too. I do too.
Yeah, I like that. So
I do too.
Shout out to Jalen for doing it.
Yeah. How do you think Laurie's thinking about this? What do you think he's thinking?
I think Laurie has his, I think it was you that said this right away from Jump Street. And John, I think, was on it pretty early too. And just that it looks like they're really putting this on Nick.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing. And Nick's either going to sink or swim. But I think that tells you what Laurie thinks. Laurie's going to say, you've done enough for me to have to let you figure this out. But you got one chance left to figure this out. And if you don't figure it out, I have no problem firing you. So I think he'll fire him if it doesn't go well this year. Where I don't think is, and I think people are wrong about this, me and you could sit up here and debate about Jalen. We can fight with people in the chat. We can argue with Prince and everybody and whatever. I don't think the owner dislikes Jalen at all.
Oh, no way.
I think the owner has a little bit of a bubble around Jalen. And, partly because of what I just mentioned at the Pro Bowl. Great representative for the organization.
What's the resume?
Exactly right. So I don't think the owner, I think it would be Nick would be fired next year. And then they would probably try and redo it,
So Vic Fangio is looking at his side of the ball. How do you think that defense look if there's no Jalen Phillips or no Nakobe Dean?
Yeah, well, PFF has Jahad Campbell as the breakout candidate of the year. So
yeah,
we'll
I find that.
Well, I don't either. I think they're right, but that's all predicated on the fact that people don't think Nakobe Dean's going to be here this year. I mean, speaking of PFF, did you see that the contract that they had for projected it matched the Bond contract a year ago? 3 years, $51 million.
There's no shot in hell they're going to sign
Now, I
him.
want to say something on Nakobe Dean.
No way they sign him for that money.
I want to say something on Nakobe Dean. I understand the injuries. I understand you drafted Jahad Campbell in round 1. I understand you paid Zach Bond. Okay. Like a top linebacker. With the recent news and the developments of Vic Fangio's career, if you assume that you only have 1 year left of Vic Fangio, and we'll be lucky to get that year because he could walk away, but I think we will get that 1 year. Assume you have 1 year left. Is Nakobe Dean really the guy that you want to leave the locker room when you look at the kind of player that makes up the fabric of a defense? There's a coach and the philosophy of a coach, and then there's the on-field implementation of what that coach is teaching. And if you don't have the agents or the avenues to deliver that message and that philosophy across your starting 11 with the right vessels, for lack of a better word, you're going to struggle. So if I'm the Eagles, I look at Nakobe Dean, and I'm going to say something crazy that I know 90% of people listening will not agree with. And I'm not even saying to do it, but I would be thinking about it. Does trading Zach Bond and paying Nakobe Dean make sense for the 3 to 5 year vision of the Philadelphia Eagles? Zach Bond's 30 years old. Linebackers don't typically play all that long. There's some instances. And
I'm looking at something up while you're saying this.
Like, I think Nakobe Dean. Now, I get it. You're not going to pay Bond, pay Nakobe, and draft the first rounder with Jahad Campbell.
Why you went back to back with D tackles?
Yeah, the Eagles value D tackles.
Yep.
All right. Okay. They don't traditionally value linebackers. So I understand what I just said is way out on a ledge. I'm just saying, it's kind of a Bill Belichickian approach where player hits 30 years old, give me the young guy. Now, the problem there is Nakobe's got major injury concerns, man. But Nakobe would be your Mike. Jahad could be your Will.
Okay. So just to put this all in proper perspective, Zach Bond has missed 1 game
True.
2 games. He's missed 2 games in the last 2 years. He's missed 2 games. One of those, I think they sat his ass. They may have sat him in both of them, in both those games. Nakobe Dean, in the last 3 years, has missed 24 of 51 ball games available. Dude, it's half your.
That's the hardest part about what I just said.
That's half of your playing time. I mean,
Vaughn's still a little young, dude. I thought he was 30. He's 29. He'll be 29 for most of the year next year.
And he's reliable.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand it's out there.
How do you feel about the kid behind him, Trotter Jr.? My point, the Trotter Jr. conversation is more important now, because if I do move off of that guy, do I feel that if I have an injury in my linebacking core, do I feel like I'm in as good a shape if Nakobe's not there? Because look where the backups are now. If it's Dean and Bond, if Dean goes out, Campbell goes in, right? That's a really great backup.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
well, next year it's going to be Campbell. It's going to be Bond and Campbell next year.
Bond and Campbell. Who's your backup? Yeah. Trotter? That
Probably
might be a drop-off. That's a drop-off, maybe.
It's a drop, especially because Trotter's a Mike. I mean, if Jihad Campbell goes down, well, you'll probably put Jihad. You'll probably put Trotter and Mike, and then move Bond to Will.
Yeah,
that's probably what you'll end up doing.
But see, that's a downgrade, like it was at corner when you went off of Isaiah Rodgers and Slay, right? You went from Isaiah Rodgers to Slay to Keely Ringo into Adoree Jackson. That's the shit Vic's looking at right now. You know, how much do you think that played a factor on how he blowtorching that defense last year, that he built up to a number one, and all of a sudden he saw what went on in the offseason, and he sees maybe that you lose Phillips and you might lose Nakobe, who he really likes, who we gave the green dot to? How much do you think he's like this? Jesus criminy. They hired a 23-year-old guy on offense, and all they expect us to do over here is take these guys like Adoree Jackson, this guy Jacorian Bennett, and for us to go over here and make chicken shit into chicken soup.
Yeah.
I mean, how much do you think that plays into it?
I think it plays into it a lot. I do. I'm looking at the rankings. I mean, I don't know. I'll pull them up here. I know some people are indifferent on this source, but it is, it's a reference point.
Yeah, PFF.
Yeah, it's a reference point. I'll show everybody what I'm looking at here.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm looking at defensive grades here, 2025. I went to 20% of the snap, at least 80% of the snaps. So if you look at the linebacker grades, like Vaughn is still number 6, 80 grade.
That's exceptional.
Lower in tackling this year, lower in run defense this year. But, I mean, he's up here with Demario Davis, Devin Lloyd, Jack Campbell, and Fred Warner, Bobby Wagner. I mean, these are the best linebackers in football. So if you go down here a little bit, there you're going to see Nakobe Dean at 45. So I love Nakobe, but that's too much of a risk with injury and even the
and the money
talent of the player. That's a no-go.
Where's Campbell?
Right here, 14. But he had lesser snaps. I mean,
Plus they put him at edge a few times.
He had 717 snaps, but I think some of them are probably special teams. And
but I think also, remember, he had a high load of snaps early until Dean came back at, what's that, week 8?
Yeah, and Dean had 462 snaps.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, Nakobe's a really good player. He's a guy you want on your football team. Hell, he's a guy you want to have date your kid. He seems like a really nice guy. However, business comes into it. When I see the number 24 games you've missed in 51 attempts, I'm sorry, man. I can't build.
What I like about Dean, and there's something that I see with Dean that some players have, like this factor that most players don't have, and it's not about talent. It's about, I look at Nakobe as a bigger than just player for the organization. A guy that will carry the torch, a guy that will, lead the Wolves into battle, if you will. That's kind of how I view him. I mean, I remember this video that came out. I don't know if it was this past summer when he was still injured, and he's on the sideline, and he's watching the game or the practice, and he's so locked in. He's got emotion coming out of his face. It's like he's playing. That's how much he was into the practice. And not everybody's like that. Like, I just think he's got this element that you want to be the backbone of your organization. I get the business comes into it, though. He'll probably be gone. But whoever gets him, I think is getting a good one. I really do, if he stays healthy.
I already put it out there on the air in Tampa. I'd like to see him replace Levante David.
I hope Dallas doesn't sign him. Do they need a linebacker?
I think so.
Yeah, they just traded a 7th-round pick for Logan Wilson.
Yeah,
they can use a linebacker.
I think Minnesota needs one. I know the Dolphins do.
Speaking of Minnesota, did you see what they did to Brian Flores?
Yeah, did you see they finally came out and they went like this? They fired the entire analytics department, and they fired.
No, I'm talking about the coordinator as it relates to Vic Fangio.
I'm sorry?
Vic Fangio is the highest.
I thought they fired the GM.
Yeah. I'm not talking about that. Okay. But we will talk about that in a second. I'm talking about this. Vic Fangio was the highest paid coordinator in football last year.
Yes. Okay.
The Minnesota Vikings just redid Brian Flores' contract and made him the highest coordinator in football by multiple millions. It was 4.5. It's up to 6.5 now.
Because he was going to take the Washington gig, or there was another gig I thought that he interviewed for that he was going to take the job. I know that Tampa wanted to talk to him, so I would think that that's got to be in excess of $7 million.
Yeah, it's 6.5 for Flores.
Okay.
6.5. So think about it. Is Vic Fangio is that gonna become a factor? I don't think so. I think Lurie will pay him whatever he wants, but $3 million jump on your DC.
Hey, I don't want to do this anymore. How about if we pay you 7.5? You know what? I guess so. I could do it one more year for 7.5. I'm good. Hey, do you think all this bullshit comes down to his age? Or do you think this more so is that it's the front office on what's driving?
No, I think it's his age.
It's age?
Yeah. He wanted to hang him up last year.
I heard.
I remember there was the story that came out when they were walking around the locker room as champions after the Super Bowl. And he kind of was saying to some of his defensive staff, like, it's been great working with you.
So, oh, Jesus. I didn't hear that last year.
Yeah, that was
okay.
That was a thing.
I didn't know that. I thought Stoutland was closer to retiring than he was.
Well, Stoutland is younger, but that doesn't always matter. I mean,
no.
Yeah, but no, that happened. So Vic this isn't new to this year. This isn't because of the crazy year. It's not because of the way they blow. It's not because of any of those things. It's not.
I can't wait to see what this new. Do you expect?
Dude, he's a Philly guy. He might live in Philly when he retires. He loves the local deli down on Penrose.
Yeah, he's not leaving.
Penrose Diner, not the deli, the diner.
He's not leaving, dude. Dude, he started his career here with the Stars.
Yeah.
And he's not leaving the USF.
I could see him living in Philly, literally.
That's not, well, he probably enjoys the environment. That's why he didn't enjoy being down in South Florida. So have you had time to process this, dude? I talked about this guy in the weekend, and I was like, oh, by the way, Craig Carton loves Jalen Hurts. He loves Jalen Hurts. He's a Jalenite. He goes, you don't. I said, that's not that I don't like the guy. That's not what I said. He goes, you're a hater. I go, I'm not a fucking hater. That's not what I am.
Carton, now you know what Carton's doing? Carton knows business, and he knows how to get the Eagles fans, which are a rabid fan base on his side for the national program.
But he does believe the Eagles have a Nick Sirianni problem.
Of course.
He goes like this. He goes, I know you're on board with me here. I said, yeah, but you know what you have to give this guy credit for?
Oh, so I'm winning you over because you've been bashing.
Well, a little bit here, and I'll tell you how. He recognized the quarterback has got stiff tendencies. So what he does, is he looks at Howie's. That's why he's constantly kissing Howie's ass. And so he's like, look, we got great talent. Thank you, Howie, very much for continuing the talent in light of what I got to deal with over here. And so, there's a part of me that now does this. Well, he looks at the guy and he knows he's limited here. That's why he doesn't bring in a guy who's an experienced coordinator, because I can control this guy and I can control Jalen, and I can control the narrative. This is why that there's no experienced coordinator in your building. I mean, dude, you hired the least experienced guy you possibly could have hired. I mean, your St. Joe's prep coordinator has more experience in calling plays than this guy does. Yeah, but here's my new favorite one. As soon as he played the position, hey, okay.
Yeah, I kind of like this kid. I'm not going to lie. But the problem with Mannion is I don't think the setup for him is good here.
No.
Like I said this last week or on Friday. If he got hired to a team that wasn't in, win now mode with expectations,
the Jets.
I think he would develop perfectly. But because he's in Philly, you got 1 year to win, or else, your owner's good. The owner will fire you. He won't even think. He won't care. He'll fire you. I think it's a tough setup for him, but I do like him. I think he's got a good future in the league. We'll find out if I'm right or wrong.
So we went 18 days looking for a coordinator. How long do you think this little saga with Vic goes on? You think we'll know by the middle?
It's already done.
You think they'll make it public?
No, I think it's already done. And then I think Vic strikes me as the kind of guy that's not going to, I used the word teetering earlier. I'll stick with it. Teeter-totter. Like, once he says to you, I'm coming back, I feel like he's going to come back. If he says I'm out, you're cooked. You're probably not winning that guy over, unless you really throw the bag of money at him. But I think Vic will be back this year.
Shit, man. This was as good a story as Bad Bunny. This was good, man. This was good, man. I'm like, holy shit here. You think Stoutland has any chance of retiring?
Depends on these coaching hires. Who they filling in the staff with? I mean, if you conveniently get news this week that Stoutland retires, guess what, everybody? The conspiracy theories will be true. They wanted to move. They tried to basically, say to Jeff, hey, we need a different run game coordinator, or whatever the case may be. And he decided to hang him up. I don't think that'll happen.
Have they hired a run game coordinator?
What's that?
Have they hired?
No, they haven't hired one. It's not typically something that you hire for, is it? You normally give it to somebody else, kind of.
No, but you can look on the team's website, and you could see that there's designations for run coordinator, pass coordinator. Josh Grizzard's your pass coordinator now. You hired Josh Grizzard. Super Bowl 60. Let me ask you this: Josh McDaniels, Clint Kubiak. Josh McDaniels, Clint Kubiak, Mike Vrabel, and Mike McDonald. What coaching staff do you think has the advantage on Sunday?
I like the Vrabel staff. I like the
Vrabel, Josh
staff.
McDaniels?
Yeah. I mean, Josh McDaniels has won how many Super Bowls?
6.
So Mike Vrabel's got serious pedigree in terms of what he's accomplished as a player, as a just everything. He's been around the game. I like McDonald, and Kubiak, I think people get a little too high on these guys, a little too quick, But he has had a good year.
He's getting that Raider gig.
Yeah, I know he is. He's definitely getting the Raider gig.
He's getting that Raider gig. So are you signing Jalen Phillips?
What are you giving him?
Don't you think that if you're going to go priority, don't you think Dallas Goedert's more of a priority than Jalen Phillips? I've won Super Bowls without guys like Jalen Phillips.
Yeah, but you had Josh Sweat.
Okay. I mean, right, Josh Sweat, nice player. I mean, Josh Sweat, was he an elite guy or he was a really good dude? You think I can go up maybe find Max Crosby?
Yeah, I think you can. I probably wouldn't pay Jalen anything more than $20 million. Jalen Phillips. I said that last week. That's my number. And then the article started coming out that people are putting him at 1 year, $15 million. John's losing his mind.
No way.
What the hell? $15 million on that? No, he's going to get more than that. But I'd put it at 20. And then if not, I would try and make a move for Max Crosby for sure. Now, if you're going to trade A.J. Brown in the Max Crosby deal, you have to pay Goddard, I think.
Yes.
You're going to get rid of A.J. and Goddard? That'd be insanity.
It's, no, and plus some money would free up. So you'd go like this. Watch, A.J. Brown and a 4 for Max Crosby. Because remember, the salaries will compensate and offset one another.
How old's Max Crosby?
I think he's 28.
No, is he that young?
Yeah. He's 28 years old.
Holy shit. He'll be 29 in August. I'd do that deal. I would do that deal.
And then
assuming AJ doesn't want to be here anymore. That's what I'm assuming.
Yes.
Because I've said I want to keep AJ in the building. I've been very clear about that. So I don't want to hear anybody, I'd like AJ Brown to be in the building, but sometimes players can make it untenable. So if that happens, then yeah, I would be in favor of that. That would be
Fernando Mendoza with AJ Brown. And to make Vic happy, hey Vic, listen here, man. We want you back. We know we hosed you on Milton, and oh, by the way, you said it as soon. I was typing the son of a B when you went like this. I hope really plays well. I'm typing who I hope wins the Super Bowl MVP. You're saying it while I'm saying it. I hit send. You went like this, Milton Williams. I go, he's right there. That's exact. I hope Milton Williams wins the MVP of the Super Bowl.
I do too. Milton Williams is a baller.
And he's a good dude.
I think he's got a great opportunity to win, to have a big game in Sunday. I really do.
You think the Patriots make this close?
I'm leaning Patriots right now. I'm hearing too much Seattle. Like, I think Seattle's a good team, but does everybody have we really reached the point with the Seattle Seahawks that we feel that they're unfucking beatable? I mean, come on, guys. They're a good team. There's a lot of good teams that happen in the NFL. They're a good team, a really good team. Any given Sunday, I like the Patriots in the spot.
That's right.
Right now, I'm leaning Pats.
All right, I'm going to write down my top 5.
Give me Drake May, the youngster, getting the first ring out of the way. Oh, boy.
All right, here's my top 5 teams as of right now in the NFC. I got Seattle number 1. I got the Rams number 2. I got Chicago 3. 49ers are going to get Fred Warner and Nick Bosa back, correct?
Yep.
I got Green Bay. They're going to get Micah Parsons back, right?
Yep.
And I've got Detroit and Philly tied for 6th.
All right. In the NFC?
Yeah.
Where do you have Dallas?
I don't think they're in your room yet. There's too many question marks for me on defense. They got to get another running back in there.
Well, I do, because they don't have the players yet, but they do have do you agree to this? They do have if they want to deploy all their assets on the defense, they do have a pretty good treasure chest of assets right now.
And if they wanted to make a deal because of the trade they did with Micah.
That's what I mean. So, if they want to go and improve their team,
how about if they go get Max Crosby? Does that move Dallas? Oh, wait, here. Think about Dallas. If they retain Pickens and they go get Crosby, how do you think their chances are of being a player in the NFC if they?
Well, I have been accused of, when you're in Philly, you have to hate Dallas. That's kind of the way it is here. I have been accused of more shit for giving Dallas credit, but I refuse to be a bum without having a sense of objectivity. I said I liked Dallas last year. I think I liked them again. I mean, I look at that team. They had a really good offense. If they bring back George Pickens, assuming that they do, their offensive line is going to be better. That was a young offensive line. They had a lot of young guys on that offensive line. If they deploy those assets that they have and improve the defense, I mean, who'd they hire as their coordinator again? Christian Parker, the kid from Philly?
Christian Parker.
Dude from Philly that everybody likes? I mean, I think the Cowboys are going to be good next year. They're going to be back to 12-win Dallas would be my guess.
You think they're one of the top 5 teams, mate?
No, but I think they're right on the brink of where you have us.
Okay, where do you think the Giants will be?
The Giants, I don't think they're getting that much better.
4 wins. They hire
They go to
Harbaugh. They hire John Harbaugh. They get Malik Neighbors back. Their defense was put in uncompromised situations last year because of that offense. You get Skeetaboo back. You also get the quarterback, maybe with a little bit.
I'm not all that high on their quarterback,
Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I think he's good. I don't know what his style is going to be like when. Like, first off, he's too wrecked. I mean, he's going to learn the lesson that every player learns. Yeah, I'm not going to be 22 years old forever where I can just, run headfirst into NFL guys. Dude, you're going to get decleated and and decapitated, bro. You better chill. And then I also think if you take away some of that running ability, I think he really struggles to see the field, and get the ball out. He's always since college. And, like, people will knock Jalen for the same thing, that when the running's not there, he escapes from the pocket. Jalen was way better in college than Jackson Dart was in terms of throwing the football. I mean, Don't you remember watching Dart at Ole Miss? Every play was an off-schedule play downfield. So now that's translated to the NFL. If like the league always does, catches up to him this year, like they did with Jaden, like they do with every freaking quarterback, what's he going to do? I don't know. I'm not really all that high on Jackson Dart. I'm really not.
You know what? I wasn't. I didn't even really know about him until the draft or a couple of weeks before the draft when he started skyrocketing up the board. And I'm like, man, when I watched him play at Ole Miss, I was like this, Zander. Man, this guy's like, he's not very accurate. And anytime that something's not open, he'll just take off. So I was never really like, and then obviously I thought Dable was coaching him incorrectly because he was coaching him to get his ass killed. So if you're Minnesota, you're obviously not, there's no way you're staying with J.J. McCarthy.
No, I'm calling for Mac Jones immediately. Immediately.
Could you win that division with him?
I think so.
What do you make it? What do you make of Detroit? By the way, Detroit was 2-4 in their division.
I mean, the North is tough. You're going to have – see, I think the Bears, as much as I like them this year, I think they're ripe for coming back a little bit. You can't win that many games off the seat of their – flying by the seat of their pants like they did. The Packers, I think, are going to be pretty legit. The Lions are going to be – that's going to be a good division. That's probably going to – that could be one of the better divisions in football again next year for sure. I think the Lions are going to be back to being good. The Vikings, I think, are going to be good if they make the right quarterback move. Packers, Jordan Love had his best year. How much will the loss of Sean Mannion hurt him? Maybe it does hurt him. And then Caleb, what does Caleb do? Does he continue to progress, or does he try and win games the way he did last year, which is basically big luck plays in fourth quarter, not a good way to win. So that's going to be an interesting division.
Absolutely, it's going to be. So let me play a little game with you here. As of right now here on February 2nd, Gary Cobb will join us at the bottom of the hour, my friends. How do you think you do against that 14-3 Jaguar team this year?
How do you think they do against who? The Jaguars?
That 14-3 Jags team. You think they have a better you think the Eagles have a better roster than that 14-3 Jags team?
Jaguars were 14-3 this year?
Yeah.
No, 13-4. 13-4.
Okay, 13.
All right, that's a little better. 14-3 is pretty sick.
Yeah.
All right, okay. 13-4. That's a pretty good Jaguars team. I don't know if I'm just a Doug Peterson guy, but
and they didn't use Travis Hunter at all this year. He got hurt.
Doug Peterson helped turn that ship around.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
He did the hard part of turning the yacht around in the docks, And then once it, busted the final dock on the turnaround, they changed conductors and the thing was already turned around. So Doug did the hard part, but credit to Kit Cohen for really elevating them.
Yeah.
They got Lawrence, Etienne, Brian Thomas Jr. is a great player. Jacoby Myers.
LSU kid.
Good defense, man. Devin Lloyd, Trayvon Walker, Josh Hines-Allen. They got a nasty defense.
I love that kid Lloyd since he was drafted out of Utah.
Yep. You did, dude. You love that guy.
I do. I love that kid. I wanted the Eagles to draft him, but obviously that's panned out now when getting Jihad. How about this one? How do you think the Eagles will line up against the Rams?
The Rams are out there because they could be really good or they could take or they could regress. I mean, the thing I think that's going for them is that they have pretty good youth and talent on their lines. But what's Devontae Adams next year? What's Matthew Stafford next year? Those are the two biggest variables.
How good is Puka Nacua going to be if there's no Stafford?
Yeah, right. I think Stafford will be back. How can you win MVP? Is he going to win MVP this year?
Yep.
How can you win MVP of the year and hang up the cleats? You can't.
He's going to be 38 next year.
Dude, you can't hang up the cleats on an MVP season. Has that ever happened in the history of football?
You know what? The only guy I've ever seen go out on top like that, but not in his prime, was Elway when he won that Super Bowl. He did the helicopter in the end zone.
Yeah, right.
And then he got to the line, but I don't remember a guy ever winning the MVP. You know what? Yeah, I think Staubach did that. He won the MVP his final year, and then he called it because remember, back then you had to do 5 years of service, and he was an older guy, but I think he's like one of the only guys ever to do this. This schedule is fucking brutal. See, the Seahawks come to Lincoln Financial. Oh, the Seahawks. So let me get this right. Here's your schedule. You got, by the way, it's not put in order yet, but Cardinals you have to go to Arizona. The Cowboys are going to be better. The Jags, the Giants will be better. Washington, who you hate, I think will be better. To what extent, I don't know yet. The Rams are the Rams.
I didn't even give my opinion on Washington yet for this year. Don't put shit in my mouth.
What do you think? Okay. Do you think Washington rebounds?
I think they go where the Giants go. Right in the middle. 8 wins.
8 wins? 8-9?
8-9, 9-8, somewhere in there.
Okay. Seahawks. What about the Eagles against the Texans with this roster?
I mean, I think CJ Stroud, I think they should trade him. I think he's hard. I think he's ruining their shot at a Super Bowl.
Okay. What do you think of that defense versus your offense and your brand new coordinator? Just curious. Against D'Amico Ryans, your Bama guy.
Dude, I didn't say I don't like their defense. I think their quarterback's is stiff. And I really don't I don't think they should move forward with them. So I like the Eagles in the game. I do.
Ooh.
Classic 13-12 victory.
Ooh, the Indianapolis Colts and the Shanksters back. The Shanksters back in Philly, man.
I was trying to figure out what you were saying there for a second. The Shanester? Is that what you're
calling? Yeah, the Shanester, man. Shane Steichen. He's back in Philly with his Colts and the greatness of Daniel Jones. Doing. Yes, sir. That's a pretty good football team.
Yeah. Well, we got a first place schedule again next year.
First place? This will be the toughest schedule in pro football. After that, you got the 49ers in Santa Clara. It's a shame.
You're like we're talking about a bunch of Goliaths. I mean, we're talking, there's some good football
teams. I'm talking about teams that are like right now aren't talking about their coordinator retiring and getting rid of their star receiver.
Vic will be back. Vic will be back.
Bears at Soldier Field. Look at this, man. You got the Carolina Panthers.
I think that's a nice little revenge game, Bears at Soldier Field for the Eagles.
Oh. Revenge game for Barkley, right? Or no, revenge game for the defense on getting rolled.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Look at this. So you got Carolina, playoff team. Pittsburgh, playoff team. Chicago, playoff team. 49ers, playoff team and a win against you. Texans, playoff team. Seahawks could be the Super Bowl champs. Rams, playoff team. Jaguars, playoff team. Hey, woo! This is going to be a big old ass schedule here, my friend.
All right. Are you already black-pilling on next year? I mean, come on.
Well, if you lose Vic, okay, say you don't. One of these. No, a couple of these. If you lose Vic, Lane, AJ, and Goddard, Jalen Phillips, Nakobe. You lose 3 of those 6? How you doing?
Are you tipping your hand on your predictions for this year? They're not going to be very pretty if that happens, huh?
I'll tell you this right now, man. If some of those things happen, I'm looking at a 7-win football team.
No, stop. 7 wins?
7 wins. You lose A.J. Brown, and you lose Dallas Goddard, or you lose A.J. Brown, or how about this one even? Say you lose Lane and Goddard. Okay? Or then you turn around and you lose Nakobe and Jalen.
I think Lane will be back. The question for me on Lane is how many games does he play?
Got him come back the rest of the season.
Maybe he could retire. I mean, he could retire. I don't think he will though, but it depends that foot, man. I mean, I don't think he wants to go out on the terms he did this year. I really don't. But if it gets announced he needs like surgery or something after waiting, the whole year, to try and remember, they never put him on IR. He was supposed to be back after 4 to 6 weeks. Then he never came back. If that foot is worse than we thought, then that could potentially be something to flag. But we'll see. We'll see, brother.
Well, you know what? I did want to tell you that Gary Cobb, see them helmets behind Gary Cobb right now? Gary Cobb's helmets are older than the coordinator you just hired.
Oh, man.
How you doing, kid?
I don't mind the Mannion hire. The problem for him is that he's got the expectations here are to win quick. You don't have time to learn, my friend. You better start simulating games right now in your basement because
that's right. Get on Madden.
Yeah, I mean, bro, you don't have any time to learn next year. It's not
Filet Mannion.
You're expected to be a finished product on day one.
Let me tell you this. If this guy doesn't make this offense roll, he'll be filet mignon.
Yes, he will.
He'll be filet mignon.
Nick Sirianni will really be the one that's filet mignon.
Oh, yeah.
He's out of scapegoats. There's no more scapegoats now.
Absolutely. My friend, we will see you, and we will see you tomorrow on Birds 365. Make sure you guys check him out. How you doing, bro? Thank you very much, Big Z.
Thank you, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You got it. All right. Without further ado here now.